Hey guys, welcome to BitBoy Crypto. I'm your host, BitBoy. Today, we're going to be taking a look at one of the scariest things that I can ever imagine happening in cryptocurrency. It's a 2% loss today on the markets. What are we going to do? Everybody's freaking out. Well, we'll talk about it, and then we're going to talk about why may not even really be that big of a deal. But before we go any further, make sure you are a subscriber to our channel. Make sure that you hit the bell for notifications so you get notified every time when I put out a new video. And as a member of the Bit Squad, you have the opportunity to win $500 worth of Ethereum and merch for October and November. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and comment and like on this video and all our other videos in October and November to enter. Okay, guys, so taking a look at the markets, we're down to 203 billion. It did drop a little bit further than that earlier today. Bitcoin dominance has risen just a smidge to 54%. But after a week, actually, I think about 2 weeks of being the most stable Bitcoin has ever been, it was actually more stable than even like the Amazon stock, which is really crazy. We have had a giant red candle today, as you can see here on these charts, the 7-day charts. They almost all look the same. Except for Tether, of course, it doesn't count. Monero didn't have quite as far of a drop, or neither did Stellar. But these other ones, they look like straight cliffs, but they're only about 2% to 5% losses. Not really that significant. Bitcoin did go all the way down to 62.11 this morning. Is back at 63.42. And so the question everybody wants to know is why? Why did we have this sudden drop after all of this time of stability? Well, a lot of people point to this small Canadian exchange called maplechange with a hack. As we know, hacks on larger exchanges have certainly affected the price a lot in the past. It seemed like every time we were gaining momentum, there would be some kind of hack and the price would go back down. Of course, we didn't have that momentum this time, but we did have stability. And I don't know, maybe this was the case. So Joseph Young, we've talked about him before. He's on Twitter. He posted this article yesterday that was basically saying a small Canada-based exchange called maplechange has pulled off an exit scam, disappearing with user funds. Basically what they said is someone had figured out a way to withdraw all the funds from the website. They put something out on Twitter saying that all the funds were gone and they couldn't refund anyone any money until after the investigation was complete. Everybody was totally freaking out about this, even though it was just a small Bitcoin exchange or a small crypto exchange. Now, supposedly the original number that was being floated about was there were 919 Bitcoins that were stolen, which I think equates to about $6 million, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But anyways, in any case, 919 Bitcoins is like a ton of Bitcoins, right? Well, so there's all this hype, all this hysteria. Then it comes out that no, actually only $40,000 was hacked, not 6 million. There were only 8 Bitcoins that were actually taken. And so I guess from this you can kind of wonder like, okay, was this actually what happened? Or were they trying to exit scam and they feel like maybe they got caught? And so then they were like, oh, it wasn't as bad as we said it was. I don't know. We may never know what the real truth of it was. But in either situation, whether the exchange was lying about what actually happened or whether all of these reporters were lying that just went spreading all of these like tabloid gossip rumors about this hack, somebody was wrong and somebody was lying or at least exaggerating. And when we talk about FUD, that's exactly what we're talking about. People exaggerating what happened. There's a big difference between an exchange losing 8 Bitcoins and an exchange losing 919 Bitcoins. So because of that, I really feel like that may have affected the markets this morning. And maybe that's why they've gone up a little bit since then, just due to the fact that this exchange hack turned out not to be a huge deal, but it's really hard to know at this point. Now, another thing that we've really been experiencing is when we have good news, it hasn't been making the market move very much. When we've had bad news, it also hasn't been making the market move. So there's also a chance that this didn't really affect the price at all, and it was just kind of a coincidence, because a lot of people are starting to think that we may actually be heading towards another huge bear trend. And this comes from, I'm on Ethereum World News, and basically what they're talking about is that while we had a huge spike in volume as of yesterday over the last 24 hours, it didn't equate to the prices going up, which kind of indicates that if there's a lot more volume coming in and the price is dropping, a lot more bearish action than we were thinking could happen. Now, plenty of people have said that Bitcoin can go down as low as 3 or 4K, but to me, until we see the price drop below 6K consistently, the most has dropped under 6K all year, was down to about 5,700, and that was only for about 18 hours that it stayed below 6K, and then it shot right back up. So I think we'll probably see the same thing. I don't think we're going down for larger bear action, but a lot of people do think that. A lot of people think that this is the beginning of going back down. But for me, just like for people that think I'm bullish or like, oh, maybe this is going up, maybe it's going up, there are as many people on the other side that have been crying wolf about going down. So like I've been saying a lot lately, like the markets have just been kind of boring. But, you know, this was at least some action that we saw that gave us something to talk about. We'll have to see whether this bearish trend continues and we do actually drop to where a lot of people are predicted, or is it possibly this is one last shakeout before a lot of people have predicted we start going up in November. It's really hard to say at this point, but it won't be harder to say because as of November, we'll know. So, and the thing about this is why is this such a big deal? If we go down to 4K, if we go back up to 8K, whatever it might be, why is this such a big deal? And I think Tim Draper really puts this into perspective with his Bitcoin prediction. He says by 2022, Bitcoin will be 250K. And I think that those larger numbers out 4 or 5 years from now, those are the numbers we really need to be concentrating on. Because yes, if we have another huge bull run and you start to get some indications of some bearish action, not financial advice, of course, but in my opinion, you should definitely take out some profits so we don't go exactly through what we just went through. However, if you really believe in Bitcoin, then you should be holding Bitcoin because 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin, not because 1 Bitcoin equals 3K or 4K or 6K. Because I believe that's where the world is going, towards a one world currency, or at least a majority of the world currency using Bitcoin. And I believe in the power that it has to totally change everything in the world as far as decentralization goes and the transfer of money and the way that wealth is distributed and things like that. So Tim Draper is still standing by this prediction. And to me, after reading all this news about bearish action and then reading this article, and of course, he's just pulling numbers out of the air as well. He has reasons for his predictions, but that helps me as an investor to step back and once again appreciate why I'm in this space, why I'm in cryptocurrency. It's not because of what the price action is for the next 3 months. It's because of what I think Bitcoin can do in the long term. So I think 250K by 2022 is a nice prediction. How many bull runs will it take to get there? 2, 3, 4, 1? Who knows exactly what it might take. But I do think in between now and then, we can expect to see the price of Bitcoin rise astronomically. And a lot of people start FOMOing in. And of course, if you imagine the hysteria when Bitcoin was at 20,000, imagine the hysteria it's going to be at when it's at 50 or 100K. Or something like that. So those are the things we have to look forward to. So I just really encourage everybody, if you're alarmed by the dip today, don't be. It's not really that huge of a deal. I honestly think we'll be back up to 66 by next week. We could go down as well. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's my personal opinion on it. I think this is just a little blip on the radar. So that's all I got for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be doing another news video later tonight and a live stream tomorrow. And those are my only videos I'll be doing before World CryptoCon. I've got some pre-recorded videos I've made for you guys while I'm gone, but really excited about leaving on Wednesday for that conference. It's going to be an absolute blast. Going to get to meet, hang out with a bunch of new friends and some of my old friends and things like that. So you guys make sure that you guys are following me on Twitter and Instagram to keep up with the updates while I'm at World CryptoCon. So, all right, guys. Thanks a lot. BitBoy out.